Did we know? No. What was the first plan? Like,
Plan dates.
No.
Do you know?
No.
Dates ever really on the fly though?
Yeah, I'll say the first planned date was her birthday. When she turned 21, but it took her to Reno.
Hey, wow.
Damn.
That's a really good first date. What the hell?
What the fuck? Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying that was our first date, but
I'm not doing that on Hinge. What the fuck?
Are we back on live?
one that we got to most like remember.
And we're back.
We're back.
What he said.
To your.
We're back. So we're
Ladies
gonna
Guild
all take a
program.
shot.
Ah.
All right.
Let's go.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna put this down for a
Yeah.
second.
Oh, it's not. Well, I thought that was a test of table.
No, I've been holding. That's why I dropped it. Because I had it on my thing, and then I went like that, and it was
I'm
like,
gonna
go-
boom.
I gave him the thing to attach. He just choose not to do it.
I made one mistake.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Everyone cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to the #1 podcast
You
in
bitch.
San Jose.
To your favorite podcast.
To your favorite San Jose podcast.
Wait, should I share your
Oh yeah.
Never gets easy.
I think it does.
It just get warmer. It just get
I hear
warmer.
that, man.
That's good stuff.
It just get warmer.
Shit.
I just.
Okay, so
Sorry, I didn't go earlier.
All right, so let's talk about the 1980s and the crack epidemic. So,
wasn't that like one of your papers that I had to help you with?
Yeah, there's a lot.
I mean, I did.
There's a
help
lot
you
of
with it.
stupid shit that I've written about.
Do you mention the DARE program?
Yes, I did actually. I mentioned that about how it did literally the opposite of what they wanted to do. I remember signing the DARE stuff, and then here I am.
Hey, hold on. Shout out to Jeremy and Vienne for always bringing the snacks.
Facts.
And I should actually finish you that too.
I know.
We always finish the snacks that they bring. It's crazy, and I love you guys for that.
Spider-Man.
This is actually like what 2 days old.
Dude, that's fresh though. It's
No.
fresh.
I actually
Y'all
saw
not
the
eating
popcorn we
shit,
have.
Which one? The one for the theater? What the fuck?
It's in the
Alright.
kitchen.
All
All
right.
right. So.
Okay, now we got her. We got her back. We got her back. She's sitting down. She's sitting her ass down. That means we ready for the cartoons. Welcome back, guys. We are gonna get right into the cartoon thing. You know, so this is.
No, it's cool, bro. Whatever you want. I'll take whatever's left.
All right, so this is Vienne's list. So for
Oh, that's why we picked 9.
Nice pictures.
yeah, so it's a 3x3. So it's like 9 cartoons that like have either influenced us, have had impact on our childhood, or just in our life in general, and or just something we just like, you know. So Vienne, did you want to start with which show did you want to start with?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Give
I
us
feel
your
like,
presentation
oops.
on your top 9.
Oh, so we're basically me and Vienna are sharing our list.
Okay, cool.
I feel like I'm gonna go with the first picture. That one's gonna be last because that's the longest explanation. That's probably the best one. S tier,
Okay.
first choice.
So, which one's the last picture? I'm confused.
I think
last,
Gumball or
Gumball or
Gumball's the
Bojack?
last one.
Okay.
no,
Gumball.
Bojack. This is
Yeah,
the
Bojack?
horse one.
yeah.
Okay.
The horse one is gonna be the last one I talk about.
Oh,
but
that's
The horse one.
but that's first in the list
Yeah,
because
Bojack.
it's just gonna be the longest thing I
Bojack
talk about.
Horseman.
Yes. So the first one is gonna be dead center. I'm gonna talk about SpongeBob SquarePants. I wrote a list. Do I need to say any more? To be honest about SpongeBob, that one is the.
I
best
think for
fucking
the sake
show.
of the podcast, you were gonna have to.
Okay, well that one honestly, meme wise, that one's the best one. All my quotes come from SpongeBob. Fucking the bops. all
Even
the
in
best
interviews.
songs. Oh yeah. There's mayonnaise in the street.
At my work, we quote SpongeBob every day. I'm not kidding.
It's the best
Tell me,
fucking
tell
cartoon.
me.
Yep. Steven Universe. Honestly, some of the cartoons that I talk about on here, I feel like because they discuss like mental health, they're the best ones for me, or that's the reason why I chose them. So like Adventure Time in a way,
And that's why I chose these pictures. These
yeah.
specific pictures.
Gravity Falls, Steven Universe, especially BoJack Horseman. That one's like top tier, S tier. Oops. What did I tell you? So for SpongeBob, I said that there were like top tier comedy, memorable episodes, and then the songs were just like so good. Like those were one of the first songs that I tried to learn on the ukulele kind of thing.
Which one?
SpongeBob?
And
Yeah,
let
so
them-
there's
Was it the campfire song?
Yeah.
Let them know that you actually did a speech for the campfire song with Ryan.
Oh yeah, Ryan was in my speech class, and then we had to do like a performance. So one of the things they were like, "Oh, you could do songs if you want," and I was one of the only ones who did a song, and I did fucking the campfire song on my
FUN?
ukulele. No, the campfire. Yeah. Steven Universe, I thought was really good because it promotes inclusivity. There was non-binary representation in the characters and same-sex love. I don't want to like spoil it too much, but I thought that was really cool. It addresses PTSD and mental health, and then there's a message of learning to love yourself throughout the entire series. So that was really cool.
And the songs?
The songs, oh my God, Rebecca, what's her name?
Rebecca Sugar.
She's a blessing.
I haven't even watched Steven Universe until I met her, to be honest.
That's just
Put
gas.
it on,
Yeah, she
put it
was
on.
very young.
I didn't think it was
And that was
like
what,
either.
like 2 years ago, maybe, and
Yeah.
man, that was actually a really good series. Like,
I feel like it gets a lot of like
I like it.
unnecessary hate, but it's actually really.
oh, it is
Oh, yeah.
good. Like,
I've never seen it.
Watch
it's a
it.
solid
Recommend.
show. Yeah, it's a solid show.
I feel like you would like it.
Yeah.
Alejandro.
Oh yeah, you would.
I feel like all of the cartoons on here, I mean, like every cartoon, you kind of get to know the characters at first, so it's kind of like bullshit at first, and then once it gets into the story, that's when the character development,
So-
everything starts forming. It's so fucking so good.
Did you notice that, like, kind of like how the first season went is kind of like the first arc of Dragon Ball Z?
I didn't. What do you mean? Elaborate.
So, like, half human, half alien, is being taken care of by like a half human, half alien.
Other gems.
The gems that come in, it's kind of the same way Vegeta and Nappa come in, you know.
Pause.
Hey.
Goku is full alien. Continue.
That is true. That is true.
Shut up. Disrupted.
It has been disrupted.
Theory disrupted.
Minor spoiler.
Trash.
Like when
Trash that theory.
You know what? Forget what I said. Forget what I said.
It's joke.
That really debunks everything that he was saying though.
Yeah.
But
No, I
like,
was
we
just
can,
kidding.
I mean, but you can see that a lot of these cartoons that take a lot of inspiration
It's
from
pretty
Yeah.
similar
older
to yeah.
animes or other cartoons. Like Gumball makes a lot of references to a lot of
oh
shit.
yeah.
There's
that
literally a
is-
scene in Gumball where he turns Super Saiyan, and they say like, "You're trying to turn Super Saiyan." I'm just like, what?
Keep on.
With Steven Universe, just to close it out with Dragon Ball Z, actually, when Connie, minor spoiler, when she tries to learn how to use her sword with Pearl, I think she wears like Kid Gohan's outfit. Low key, very low key.
Wait, this is another reference. Oh,
For Steven Universe.
yeah.
I'm dead. You're right.
Oh,
Right?
yeah. Actually, that is, yeah.
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 I
See
did
my
not
scene?
realize that.
For the people somehow. somewhere.
Period's Vegeta. Right?
That's
Paradox
Ruby.
Vegeta.
Paradox.
Oh no, like in essence, in character,
Character development.
Paradox
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of like
yeah,
say
yeah,
that.
that does make
That would be
sense.
the better term for it.
Yes.
Um,
Oh, so what's the next one? Courage the Cowardly Dog. I feel like I said that sparked my interest in like the horror genre as a kid. So like it was like so obscure and
Wrong find
surreal.
out.
Yeah, it was different from other cartoons for
Oh,
sure.
definitely,
Yeah.
That's why I was like,
It
holy
was
shit.
very eerie.
not
That and Flapjack.
yeah.
Those are my top two.
Yeah.
Those are my top two, and I just want to touch on that because with Courage, it's like you start to build this relationship with Courage, right?
Mhm.
And like it just kind of takes you into like his life, and then like you're both going through the journeys together of like overcoming these fears, right? Because there's so many theories that this is just like not really happening. It's all like the way he sees normal people that come into the house or that come close to like
It's something like
there's a theory that
he
like
has to always protect.
yeah, exactly. But he's just so
Mm.
scared of everything. But like he does everything that he can to do his best, and so it just kind of like what I fell in love with Courage is that like he helped you overcome these possible fears that you might eventually like come across in your life in the future. You know, it's kind of like a starter pack.
Yeah.
Real like
Yeah,
To anxiety.
yeah, to anxiety, to fear.
Yes.
That's what I loved about it, thinking back. And then, what was a Flapjack? Same thing. Flapjack is this innocent child who's living in a very eerie, dangerous, like environment. Like,
But he loves it.
But he
Yeah.
loves it. He has fun with it. He sees the light and everything, and it's just like no matter what, his innocence is unwavering. Right? It never changes. His character never changes, and nothing could ever like really just
Even when things are bad.
yeah, you know,
Just
like
trying to annihilate.
he always comes out on the other side, and his character is unfazed.
Have you guys finished Flapjack? I haven't.
I
Yeah,
finally
I
finished it.
remember
I
the
finished
actual
it
I've
again.
seen
I
most.
think it got canceled now, so I didn't get.
No,
like,
so
a
I didn't
full-
really finish, but have you guys
Yeah.
actually really watched it?
I think
like
I
that?
watched like 80% of it.
All,
Yeah,
all I
same,
can
same.
remember really was
The reaction is
For me,
like the faces and everything.
Oh yeah, I feel like
Just
they
like the
they did
scary
like
parts.
no, they did like the SpongeBob stuff where they're like Flapjack's like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
with the lollipop and then zoom in.
Dude, those are the
Yeah.
best parts.
No, but I think the last thing I remember from Flapjack is like they're going down, they're like skydiving, and they're about to touch Candy Island, and then they're like this close, and then they get flung up and they go away, and then after that I don't remember.
Yeah.
I do remember that's like one of the last things. I'm pretty sure that even as a kid I was like, all right, that's.
Did
not
him
gonna
and
happen.
Captain Knuckles ever really get close to?
Nah, they never.
That was
Yeah.
no, yeah, that was the closest thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they were close to it. They saw it. They were about to touch it, but they got like yeeted back to wherever the fuck they're from. Yeah.
And it all starts over. The series.
Basically.
The series starts over.
But I'd say Courage, yeah, Courage that was the first cartoon I was ever really scared of.
the slab.
Yup.
I was with him last night. He was saying the same shit. Return the slab.
That shit had me
What?
tweaking out as a kid. I think I saw that. It was back, okay, because I watched Courage when they were doing reruns of it. So it wasn't
Yeah.
like the original one. So this was like 11 p.m., like 10:30 p.m. I'm way past my bedtime. And I just like see the dude like return, like terrible CGI.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm probably for the time they're like, oh yeah, this is gas. Like,
Yeah.
This is good, you
it
know.
was, no, it was though.
Yeah.
At the time,
Yeah.
it was
It
fire.
worked.
And then like
Like,
I
think
seen
about
that
it.
shit. I remember my dad was sleeping on the couch, like on the living room couch, and I just sprinted. Boy. I was there, and I just like, and I was like, turn the TV off, I'm going to sleep. And then that's it.
Nah,
That's
but
it.
Yeah, if
yeah,
we're able
that-
to turn off the TV, I would just be like, I'm not being in the room at all.
How do you turn this off?
How did I turn my brain off right now?
What's a memorable from Courage?
No, I remember.
the dude who was cutting hair. There was like a good month where I didn't want to cut my hair because of that guy. Because I was
Yeah,
like, dude, that's just so.
You guys remember the episode when Muriel turned into a kid?
The mac and cheese.
Macaroni. Less cheese.
Dude, I love that fucking episode. Dude, that shit was really good. I
Yeah,
love
that was
episode.
like that one. I'll say that I remember that episode. That the one that was the scariest.
Do you remember the cat motherfucker? Like the
He was
tall.
a fox.
He was a fox.
He was a
Fuck that guy.
He was weird. That dude was weird. And then remember that episode
was
when
too formal. Too formal.
He talked like fucking
Houston
Snake.
had like a big ass foot.
Oh yes, I do.
And it had-
remember
and it
that.
was hot?
Yes, I do remember that.
I remember
shit.
the fucking fetus baby that had like a man face too.
Yup.
I've never been afraid of PS1 graphics in my life until I
Yeah,
fucking
they-
saw that show.
To be honest, Courage did have one of the scariest graphics when I was a kid. Besides, like that one was scary, and then any other thing was like Chucky. I was scared of Chucky when I was a kid.
Same.
I was scared of that one episode of SpongeBob where it's like the hatchling.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
That shit made me want to sleep on the fucking on my mom's side of the bed.
But like, if you think that episode greatly puts together what a night shift is like.
Oh my god.
Like, if you work night
I know,
shift anyway,
that's-
it's like.
Tweakers
for
and
swimmers, swimmers, that kind of did make sense.
Yeah, dude, because like the writers knew what they were trying to portray. Like the adults would have gotten that. It's like
Yeah.
whoever worked night shifts, like yes,
You don't know where
That's
you're going
happened.
with it.
Yeah, I remember seeing the ooze on the walls when I'm working. I fucking thank God we don't have to like throw away the garbage that late at night.
Nah, yeah.
Do you guys remember the last episode of Courage though?
Was it the one where it's like he went to the lab or some shit?
No, it's the one where where they all got turned into a puppet. No, Eustace and Muriel got turned into puppets.
Oh, and then
I
they
think I
actually
do
like the
remember.
animation turned into like actual puppets, right?
Yeah, and then Courage was like playing with them.
Sound
Yeah,
familiar.
it's basically like I guess there's like a theory that says like that's just how the show ends. Like Eustace or Courage couldn't save them, and then like for the rest of his life he's just like playing with them as puppets.
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
That was the last
I didn't know that was
episode.
the last episode.
No,
I
yeah,
didn't
that
know
was
either.
the very
That's
very
sad.
last episode.
what's sad is fucking like seeing Courage's parents get euthanized in that lab for one of those episodes. Like,
Oh my god.
I don't remember that one, but
Oh wait, I do. I think.
I remember that shit.
Members like,
I know.
block that out.
But the children, they were catering to children.
Back.
This was not for children.
back to your list, Mahab.
See,
There's
look.
Teen Titans.
Sorry, hold on.
Oh,
This is proof. This is literally the last episode.
yeah.
It's
Okay, I do
Courage
remember that episode.
Playing with them as
So-
like puppets, and then
Jesus
that's it.
Christ.
I feel
It's
like I
over. The
vaguely
series is over.
remember.
Yeah, I do remember that.
That shit was crazy.
So-
Traumatized me.
I was actually watching a video.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my god.
That was
Alright, let her get into Teen Titans real quick.
Okay, the only things that I wrote for that one, I mean, obviously there's the whole story, but I put the iconic theme song.
Yeah.
That
That shit is hard. That shit go.
That shit is a karaoke ass song. And then I just put Robin and Starfire and Beast Boy and
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, that's it.
Wait, can I just say, fuck Tara?
Tara.
Tara.
Fuck you, Tara.
Fuck Tara.
Tara was cool though.
Yeah.
For like a minute. And
Yeah,
then she
I
wasn't.
did all that slimy.
Yeah. That bitch.
And then her voice actor went on to play Ellie from The Last of Us.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
dang.
Do you guys have like a really memorable episode of Teen Titans?
So many,
I played
so
mine.
many.
I'll say mine. Like mine, I really think is when who went to the future? Beast Boy, right?
It was
Beast Boy,
no, it
Beast
was
Boy.
Starfire. It was Starfire, and then
No, Beast Boy. It was Beast
It
Boy.
was Beast Boy that went to the future, and then
He saw
met,
his future self.
he
and
saw
he
his
was like
future self.
fat,
He
and
met
he was like a-
Nightwing.
no, and it was Starfire. It was Starfire.
It might have been both.
Because like
of them,
there was
'cause I
no future Starfire in that thing, and she was the one who saw
Oh.
future Beast Boy.
Oh wait, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Nightwing.
Yeah,
She was like,
absolutely.
I was like, why is he was?
I
I remember.
couldn't remember.
She was kind of beaming over Nightwing. I'm not gonna lie. I remember that part.
Dude, Nightwing. He's fire.
I love Nightwing.
I love Nightwing.
I'd fight
One of my
Nightwing.
favorite DC superheroes.
Oh yeah. Just the look wise,
But-
probably not the strongest, but he's
No, yeah,
He's
no,
Cool.
bro, that man has the most riz next to Spider-Man when it comes to fucking superheroes. Like, fucking Nightwing has fucked most of the fucking. I don't know. Everyone has.
You would know that, Artie.
most likely.
I would fucking too. I don't care.
Oh,
yeah.
No, yeah, Teen Titans was such a fucking goat series that I know everyone in this generation fucking loves. Did you know about the whole like, oh, if it's in Japanese, it's a more serious episode, like the
Wow, I
opening,
didn't know
but
that.
if it's in
I
English,
did
it's more
hear
like
about that, yeah.
more of a more lighthearted episode.
Yeah. Yeah. I
The
heard
theme
about that.
song, right? They
Yeah.
like changed the language depending on how serious it was gonna be.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, how about favorite character?
Oh, dude.
Starfire.
For
Say it
me-
for the audience.
Yeah.
She actually cosplayed as Starfire.
I remember that.
Fire.
Curse, you would say that, Nightwing. But he just about Nightwing.
What's Starfire's sister?
Oh, Firefly.
Alright, I'm not gonna put this to the mic, so like, you know, like.
RJ's so wet right now. For those who don't see it.
Oh man, I don't know. Something about those like.
The way she talked to
Those-
Robin, bro.
I wish she talked to me like that. She was probably like 15 in the show.
Oh,
But
okay,
no,
we
like all
like
the
8 years old, so I don't know.
no, like all those like emo like kind of goth like
Shigo.
just
She's on the list.
Shigo,
Shigo.
Gwen from Total Drama Island,
Ah,
Fucking
Sam from Danny
Yeah.
Phantom.
that evil wizard from Ben 10. The
Oh, Charmcaster!
Charmcaster.
Wow.
Get it?
She be charming me. Ooh, is it hot here? No, like so. I'd say my favorite character like was always Robin. I always went for those, the like the usual like
Gryffindor
basic
energy.
I'd
guys.
say for me it was Beast Boy.
Beast Boy, like
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
backstory. His backstory's fucking
Shit.
sad.
Yeah.
His backstory's sad.
All right, what about the villains though? Because you remember they had the League of Villains.
No,
and it
yeah.
was like Jinx, and it was like
Jinx.
that.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
but
The
you
Hive.
can
The Hive.
you
the
can
Hive, the Hive.
you
Yeah, there
can
go.
never like when it comes to villains in Teen Titans, you can never like not talk about my boy Slade though.
Yeah, of course.
Slade,
Wasn't he just like a figure of
Yeah,
imagination the whole time though?
Not the whole time.
Not the whole time.
It was like when he fucking like kind of died,
yeah.
like during one of their final exchanges, and like Robin was so like, because he's a real character in the comics. He's
Yeah.
Deathstroke,
Deathstroke.
and like he was so like traumatized from the experience that's why he started hallucinating. Like he's still there.
Didn't he get like nerve gas or something though? Like they said in the TV show, like he like inhaled something and it made him like keep
Hallucinate?
thinking
Not-
about it.
yeah,
It was in the mask. I think like every time
No.
that he put the red X mask.
Remember when Slade like fucked with Beast Boy with the whole Terra situation and stuff? Like you said,
yeah.
fuck Terra.
Yeah.
But also, like, it's so much weirder in the comics. It's so much weirder because, like, instead of I'm not sure if you guys want to hear this. Instead of a whole like mentor relationship between Terra and Slade, it's more of a
Oh, figured. I'm just kidding.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the comics were fucking weird.
Dang.
Oh.
They went for kids.
Wait, all right, hold on. Can we talk about how like
They were for kids.
The
No,
comics.
don't
Yeah.
you remember Teen Titan Go? They had like that whole thing where like at the
I didn't
very
watch.
no, they had a
It was
movie.
interesting.
Oh, the movie.
And then at the end of the movie,
Oh,
at the end of the movie, the original Teen Titans come out and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, help us get out!" Like
Yeah.
they're like, "Help us something."
Yeah, yeah.
And then that was like 3 years ago, like 2 years ago, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, the original Teen Titans are coming back," and then like nothing.
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
actually, we should just watch Young Justice. Young Justice is fire too.
That
So-
shit,
Yeah,
I've
you
seen
watch
clips
that.
of that. That shit does.
It is really good.
Really
It is
good,
really
yeah.
good.
Where is
I
that?
love Young Justice. It's like
HBO or Max now. It's
Max.
called- it's
You know
called
what's
Max.
So-
crazy?
I feel like you're gonna get
It's
sad
called
from
Max.
this.
Really?
So there was like a kind of movie or like special after where had the original Teen Titans versus
Oh
the
yeah.
Teen Titans Go.
They got wrecked.
They
Teen
got
Titans
it,
Go
was,
got fucked up.
it was just so
Teen Titans Go got fucked up, or the original Teen Titans?
Teen Titans Go.
Oh
But,
yeah,
like,
what?
then
Why
they
is
had-
that about that?
That no, it's just like it didn't really like turn into much because they did like really like I remember there's this one scene where Teen Titans Robin, like OG Robin, was like at first I thought you were weird and goofy, and then like Teen Titans Go Robin was like, and he's like, I still think that, and that's the only memorable thing. Like, and the fact that like you don't know about it,
Aw, that makes me sad.
Yeah.
That's it.
that's like it's just a whole special. I mean, I didn't really
I
watch
think it was
much
just
of
a
it.
cater to like the.
I just don't get it. What it is about these companies? It's like, dude, all you gotta do is take what was before, and then you like
Keep it going.
make it for like an older audience, and you'd make so much fucking money doing it.
It really
Like imagine like the original Pokemon, but like they have like the manga stuff where like they're slicing Pokemon in half and shit, and like fucking Pokemon are dying. Like you wouldn't want to watch that. Like that's
I don't
pretty
know.
sick.
I don't know because it's like
I still
I
remember.
never read any
know that.
Pokemon manga, so
no, the
know
manga was like very brutal.
It was
Like,
they
just
would
same with
literally
just same
die.
with the just same with
Did you get
Yu-Gi-Oh.
the
Like the
dog
manga
fighting?
for Yu-Gi-Oh was very fucked up.
Dog fighting.
Really?
Yeah, people
I didn't-
died.
yeah,
But I'm just
And
saying, like, just imagine like
hard.
Teen. I mean, I guess they did do that essentially because they did the Young Justice League, which
Yeah,
is kind of
Young
like a
Justice.
more older Teen Titans.
Yeah, which no, I'm telling you, you should watch that.
Yeah,
Young
see,
Justice
and then look
League.
at Jeremy. Look at Jeremy. Look at the camera and be like, yeah.
Camera's right
See,
there.
and it's like, yeah,
Yeah, camera's right there, by
So-
the way.
I'm
but-
This camera.
So
this
just-
camera.
oh, yeah,
this
that one.
camera.
So just imagine-
it's the same
So-
camera. That's what you're up to.
So just imagine all the other series if they would do that. Like, dude, they would make money off of that, you know. And you know what? I'm gonna go home. And I'm gonna watch the Young Justice League, whatever it is.
Wait,
Or
that
you
was
can
like a
watch
live
it.
action one, right?
No,
No, it's a
Oh.
cartoon.
It's cartoon. No,
Oh,
it's actually
it's-
no,
it's
that one's
really good.
Really good.
What's
Yeah.
up? Because they did a live action Teen Titans one.
All right,
I don't
it's
Moving on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
just want to say one thing. The voice of Robin is Jesse McCartney. Fucking.
Really?
if you guys- Yep.
really.
What the
Damn.
fuck?
He was like during the early 2000s. He was like a Disney star. He was like a singer.
Yeah, they pulled us on.
From Sweet
Couple-
Life.
Yeah.
Yes, Jesse
I didn't know
McCartney. He's also the voice of one of the Kingdom Hearts characters.
Oh,
Anyways.
wait, who in Kingdom Hearts?
He's like one of the newer
Roxas.
characters.
Oh,
Oh, Roxas. It's Roxas. Yeah.
Oh shit! I just guessed. I just fucking
Wait,
guessed.
is it really Roxas? That's
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know.
Can we get back to it?
Jinx and Cyborg though.
Oh yes.
Jinx and Cyborg.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
That was a good-
yes,
that was a
yes.
good story.
Yes.
I thought
I
that
fucked
was
with
like
that.
really.
That was
Shit, I should.
It was sad. It was
fucking
sad that he had to leave.
Yes. No, yeah.
Yeah.
He was
And then
like
that
he
bitch
was like
moved off to
so
Kid Flash.
interesting, right? Like
Yeah.
rock.
You got petrified. Is the term.
No, his name was Rob.
No, I thought, yeah, I
No,
thought when he was
Stone.
when he was
His
a
name
part of the
was
hive.
Stone.
Stone.
I know. Oh, you're talking about the character. I thought.
Jackson.
I was like, because that did happen though. Like,
Yeah, it's Stone.
Stone.
I
It is
like-
Roxas. You got that shit
Yeah, I know
right.
she just fact checked it right now.
No, yeah, that was a good
I did guess.
like part of Teen Titans with Jinx and Cyborg.
Mhm.
Yeah, and he was like, "Why are you doing this?" And then she was like, "I just want to be a part of something, or something like that." Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and
That
I did
teenage
like
angst.
Menos and Mike.
Angst.
Menos and
Mine, fucking.
Menos y más.
Menos and Mas.
Yeah, I gotta say, like,
Yeah,
anime.
Minus and
They-
Menos.
that series was pretty cool too.
Yeah, that was good. Too.
I'd say my favorite episode was the
Dismal.
tournament one.
Tournament.
I don't remember.
It's where like this one guy took a bunch of fighters, and then like brought them into like fight each other.
Yeah.
Like especially the Teen Titans. But for some reason, Raven and Starfire weren't there. They were kind of just chilling at home. But like they brought a bunch of like people like Speedy or Red Arrow, and like Wildebeest, and they all fought each other. And like Robin would like get to the top of it, but he realized instead of sending them back home, he was like keeping them in cages, like all the lost fighters.
Yeah. Okay, I do remember that. Yeah.
And like Robin just ended up beating like the main guy's ass. That was because I only like because I'm a sucker for tournament arcs, especially in anime, and like Teen Titans definitely had an anime like influence.
DBZ
They
started.
did.
It
was kinda
definitely like especially when it comes to like reactions.
See, you know what?
Sorry, no, go ahead.
What's crazy is that I feel like a lot of the cartoons, they're like the more like teenage older ones, definitely had like the anime vibes to them. And so like especially now, a lot of the conversation becomes like instead of like, oh yeah, this is a good American cartoon, it's like, oh, this is anime. You know?
Kinda like
and
when,
then it turns the fight away from like, oh, this is a good show versus it's not a good show to like, oh, this is anime versus this is a cartoon.
It's like the
You know?
fine line of like when it becomes
Yeah,
like
it's-
with Avatar. You're like at the
Yeah,
very beginning,
exactly.
it's very
The Last
goofy,
Airbender, yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
lighthearted. It's just like, oh, this is fun watch.
No,
Where's it
it's-
gonna go? And then as they all get older and progress, character-wise, like it starts to
Exactly.
feel like more
yeah,
animation.
you hear that a
Like
lot all
anime
the
vibes,
time
yeah.
now, where it's like, oh, that's an anime. It's like, no,
It's
That's
straight
that's
up
not an
anime
anime
cartoon.
cartoon.
You know,
All right,
yeah,
let's
Like-
get back to the list.
yeah.
All right, go ahead.
But that's
How do you go back from that?
I mean,
Sorry,
you pretty
man.
much covered all your bases, right?
No.
no.
There's like a couple.
Oh,
Yeah.
They're like
BoJack,
big
BoJack.
babies.
We still need BoJack. Let's hear BoJack.
No.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
still Bluey,
Yeah,
Adventure
oh.
Time, Gravity
Oh my
Falls, and
God.
Bimbo.
So I'm just gonna breeze over the last couple, but Gravity Falls. I mean, Ryan and I like that show a lot. We think that
Very fun watch.
yeah, it has like a lot of puzzles
Never seen it.
and plot twists, and like it involves like the paranormal and stuff. So it's super interesting, like to stay with the story after you know the characters and stuff, which are super lovable. So once you get to like know the story, go through the seasons, you're like, holy shit, like everything. I don't know, the finale and shit. Oh my god, that shit explodes on you. You're kind of like and then it goes in parts too. So after you watch the first part, you're like, holy shit, when does the next part come out? It's just crazy.
I love.
Oh, sorry. For Amazing World of Gumball, I feel like it was one of the newer cartoons. So when it came on air, I was kind of like, you know, at first I was really kind of like, fuck this shit. I don't know if this is. I don't know if this is for me. I feel like I was because it was newer. I was like older at the time that it came out, so I was kind of like, yeah, it's really like a kid's cartoon. But once you kind of get to know the characters and everything, the humor is kind of really there. So you stick with it. It's super fun to watch. There's some adult humor. You know when certain cartoons kind of sprinkle in adult humor, and it's really only made for adults to understand. So you're
Yeah.
like, oh shit, like I get that. And 5-year-olds are like, I don't get it, but it's funny. You know. So there's a cool. What else did I not talk about? Oh, Adventure Time. So Adventure Time, in a sense, really influenced me growing up because I felt like it was going on for a long ass time. Going on for a couple of years. It's again like once you learn the characters and stuff, the story starts to form. And I want to say that it touched on mental health a little bit because Finn, the main character that you follow throughout the series, he kind of like, at least there's a lot of character development. So you see him be like a little kid or like learn through like relationships and stuff and develop relationships with other people throughout the series.
And I feel like with that, like you don't really have to start from the beginning. You can start anywhere.
Yeah,
Right,
it's
because
in a
all
way-
over the
in
It's
a
place.
way,
kind of
all
like,
over the place.
it's just like Finn doing a bunch of side quests.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
get to know how he is as a person.
That is
throughout
true.
that.
He
And
does
not
get
even
the-
just spit. Oh, go ahead, right?
Oh no, I was just saying like on her point about like how he grows up, he gets depressed.
Oh
like,
yeah, okay, so
super
that's where it
depressed at
touches
some
on mental
point.
health. Yeah.
Like
He's like lost.
no, yeah, like especially when he finds out spoilers. Like he finds his dad in a prison, and he finds out his dad doesn't even care about him
At
and he
all.
loses
He just
at
loses
all.
him.
Like literally just leaves him off into a prison dimension, and he loses his left arm, and like he just
Mhm.
like, what do I do? And like he also finds about like you come to find out like when it comes to Adventure Time, like the whole world building and the whole lore, it's kind of really interesting. Like you see all this silly shit, like the candy people, like all that kind of bullshit. But this is after like a whole nuclear war that's happened, and that's why the things are the way they are.
It was post-apocalyptic.
And it's just like
Look at that
it's just
That screams post-apocalyptic world.
and like he's like born into this, so this is just kind of normal for him. But like when he's like faced with like all these kind of like existential crises, especially considering he's like one of the very few humans on this earth, it's just like
Oh yeah.
he just gets hit with this whole extent.
And that's why we have Jake.
Yeah.
That is exactly why we have
Jake. We love Jake.
Yeah.
Dude, you guys remember how like I think this is how they ended the series was like, fuck, if my memory serves me right, because I saw a clip that like reminded me of this. Like Finn and Jake both die.
Oh yeah.
Or like one of them dies.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
And a spoiler, like does anyone know?
No, I got
Oh,
you.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
take it,
did you
take it.
wanna-
No, go ahead, go
Yeah,
ahead.
you explain it better. Yeah.
So like
Take it,
after
take
the
it.
series like kind of ends, HBO released a few different episodes, basically chronicling like what happened after, and like one of those focused on Finn and Jake, and for the entirety of for like a good majority of the episode, it's like Finn, Jake, oh, it's like normal adventures, ha ha ha. But then you kind of find out like Jake died at some point, and Jake
Yeah.
and Finn never like really got over his death to the point where like he like literally visits the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
And it becomes this whole thing where just like Jake has the option to like kind of become the Grim Reaper while Finn kind of reincarnates. But at the end of it, kind of like um, ends in a kind of hopeful way where like Jake was like, "Fuck that, I'm gonna go with my boy. We're both gonna reincarnate."
Just
And-
like relive the adventure.
Yeah, as like I don't mind as long as I'm with you, because like in the end they're brothers.
Aw.
And
That's
there's
that's a man's best friend right there.
Yeah. And there's like Stormy and what the fuck is his name? But they reincarnate into those two like.
Yeah,
different
okay,
beings.
I know
That's
what
the
you mean.
last
It's like the mouse, right?
Yeah,
Is it a mouse? Or no?
Oh, it's something they go to see.
he kind of
Bimo.
looks like it. He's like kind of like a cat-looking person. And shit.
Yeah, they go to see Bimo. Bimo's like, oh.
Oh, was
you're
that
like-
them? That was supposed to be them?
Yeah, they reincarnated.
Oh, I didn't know that
So
was
they're
supposed
just
to be
kind of
them.
like re-meeting.
I remember
Well,
that
I mean,
episode.
BMO is like seeing them, but like they already know BMO, but BMO is like, hey.
Yeah, in a
You
way.
remind me of my old two friends.
And then
Like,
Bimo
it's
says Finn's name wrong or some shit. What does he say?
wow, after all this time.
Like it tears me. Like I get teared up like thinking about that episode.
Dude, yeah, when I saw the clip, it was just like,
I did not think of that.
I remember.
There was
I was
this
just watching.
There's this really heartbreaking scene where like after like one of Finn and Jake's adventures during that like specific episode where it's like kind of like the finale, and like Finn's like or Jake's kind of like kind of crawling into his own grave,
Yeah.
and then like Finn's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" He's like, "I gotta go, man. I gotta go." He's like, "No, no, no!" And it just becomes kind of a thing where like, oh, he died like a long time ago, and it's kind of like
Just realizing.
it's like it's kind of like a dream because like but it's when he's like looking for like Jake
start
in
crying.
that whole like
Kenny already is.
when he's looking for Jake in the whole like underworld. It's
Recommend.
no, yeah, definitely
Sounds
recommend.
good, yeah.
Especially the like backstory of Ice King, which is so fucking.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
shit is the
So
best
good.
Oh my God.
thing about the show.
Dude, the
You're
backstory for every fucking
invested.
character is just phenomenal. Crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I just know
Rebecca
he
Sugar.
steals princesses.
So it turns out the reason why he steals
His wife
princess.
died.
No, so like
His sister died.
Just trying to predict
Let
it.
let us speak.
Shut up!
His mother figure died.
So
When mother figure.
when the nuclear like war kind of happened, he kind of like he found this artifact, right? And it was a crown, and it slowly like kind of turned him like gradually into the Ice King, to where a point like it kind of just warped his mind, and like who he figured was like his girlfriend at the time, Betty. He was like, "This is my princess." He would always like go out of his way to call her his princess, and now like the reason why he steals princesses is because he's trying to find Betty, who's his princess, and that like out of all the insanity that's within his mind, he could only like the only thing that's kind of keeping him like going forward is stealing princesses because he's trying to find Betty.
Yeah, he
Wow.
becomes obsessed. It's like
Yeah.
the ring in Lord of the Rings,
Yeah,
right? Once you like you wear it, you don't want
Dude,
to.
that was my
And because
next
like
guess.
if
That's
before,
crazy.
like he was human. He looked completely different before before he
Simon,
turned to Ice
Simon.
King.
And it's
Yeah,
fucked up
yeah.
because since he's so old and it's been so long since the nuclear war happened, and it's
Yeah.
been so long
I
since
just
he
don't know.
got into the crown, he can't take it off, even though it's making him insane. He can't take it off because it's the only thing keeping him alive. It's been
Whoa.
so long.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what? The I never saw the show. I never
Yeah,
saw
me too.
Adventure Time.
Not
right?
like
The
Yeah.
whole lore is fucking
Only
wild.
3 episodes.
It's because I think it's like what Vienne was saying. Like I was older and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" You know?
Yeah.
Like shitty cartoons. They're not like the old ones, you know.
Yeah.
But I do remember, or at least like I saw like a few things on there. I saw one thing on TikTok in particular that was like, it was like maybe like a few months ago actually. But it made me realize that like what you guys are saying, like the show is a lot more than what it might seem to be.
Yeah.
And it's basically just about like the flame princess and how like Finn liked her, but they were bad for each other, you know? Because like
I guess it's a
obviously,
toxic relationship.
yeah, like the toxic relationships.
Complete
And I was like,
opposites.
damn,
Like
like
who?
that's
Like
crazy.
princess.
Not only that, but because
She's
like
another
she was, like,
character-
complete
she's not
fire.
super-
any
Yeah.
physical touch would just hurt him.
Yeah,
Even
so like
kissing.
they liked each other, but Finn like whenever
He
they
would try.
touch,
He
it
would really
hurt,
try.
you know.
It was like
Like-
symbolism.
Yeah, exactly. And then
He
it,
would
like
kiss him on the cheek and it's just like ah.
yeah, it would like sting and he was like
Yes.
shh, and it was like
That
you
I
know,
remember. Yeah, I remember.
And
Yeah.
he would try to put up with it, but it's like at some point it's just like
yeah,
Couldn't
like
happen.
they can't.
But also like the way it was kind of his fault that they broke up too, though, because like he had this whole ass dream and he caused him and his girlfriend and Ice King to fight just so he could have this like specific dream. He was basically having a wet dream,
What's that heck? Yeah.
and like he was like, I need like for this to happen, I need my
I need
girlfriend
that
and my nemesis to
satisfaction.
fight.
his satisfaction.
And it like at one point like his girlfriend almost like gets seriously injured, and when she finds out about it, she's like, no, I don't want to be with
Dude,
Yeah.
fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
He's toxic.
Fuck.
See, I feel like what's really cool with cartoons nowadays is that like it's not like before when we would watch it, but you can still see like
Well-
adult jokes and shit like that. But I feel like now when you watch cartoons, you're kind of like, if you were a kid, you'd be like, haha, funny. But if adults watch the same show, they can still understand a whole different perspective.
It's like both. You get the
It's
haha
both,
funny and like
yeah.
uh oh.
So adults can
Yeah.
watch the show. Adults that grew up with Cartoon Network, with Disney, with Nickelodeon, everything, they can still
Yeah.
get a different perspective when kids could just get the whole like, oh, this is so stupid. This is
Yeah.
not funny.
Cool.
Like this is
Yeah.
appealing
It's
to
a
me.
fun
but it
watch,
feels,
but that's it. Like
Yeah.
they don't like see past it because they don't comprehend. They're not
like,
there
there's
yet.
still like two different audiences.
One fun fact before we move on or anything, the Lich King,
Tell me all the fun facts.
same.
I know. Me too. I'm like yes.
The voice of the
Lord.
Lich King is the same voice actor for Slade from Teen Titans.
No.
Oh,
hey.
damn.
Wait,
That's
who?
crazy.
You know
Slade
everything.
from-
I know, right?
Ryan knows all the facts.
Lich King and
And he's so good
He's supposed to
at
be like
both.
he's supposed to be death, I think, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
he's the
yeah.
He's so good
The
at
Grim
both.
Reaper.
He's so good.
He looks like that too. Like you can't like you see him it's like oh that's Lich.
He's also Hellboy. If any of you
Oh
guys
my
know
God.
who that is.
That's
Wait.
crazy. I do like
Cowboy.
Voice actors.
Hellboy.
So
Voice
Ron-
actor and
Ron
actor. Ron Perlman.
No,
Yep.
What? That's crazy.
Damn, that's long.
Love that
Wait, so
guy.
Ron Perlman voices all three characters.
All three characters.
Wow.
That makes a lot of sense now.
John DiMaggio,
That
which is the guy who voices
Bender from
Jake
Futurama.
also? Yeah, he
Oh,
voices
he's really good.
hella people.
Yeah, Jake. Yeah, he does
Hella
do Jake.
people.
Really good.
If you ever
Ah,
watch
okay.
Under the Red Hood, he's also the voice of Joker.
Damn.
Oh yeah, he is. He is.
Even
Alright, going back to cartoons that
Oh,
what was it?
Impact your stay with us.
That cured my mental
No,
health.
Like,
Yeah.
like really that you would think that would be
Super
a
goofy.
kid show, that
Yeah.
would hit you would be
Like
Bluey.
that.
Boo.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about-
That one's
I
one of
hear
the like
about it.
newer
I-
Yeah,
shows.
it's a
I
new
really
cartoon
know.
that you feel like it'd be really like a kid show, but then if you watch it as an
It's
adult,
like a hidden gem.
you
That shit will
you
heal
will,
the shit out of
you
you.
will see like
I'm gonna
how
do that now.
in
Yeah,
depth
no,
it is.
watch
Go
it,
ahead,
please.
You can tell me.
Oh my god. Okay, so I have 2 left, guys. Sorry if I'm taking too long.
You're fine.
But
What's the other one? Oh yeah, BoJack Horseman.
yes,
That's what I'm more
BoJack is the
interested in.
biggest
This
thing
is
that
vibe.
I would
That's what I'm
recommend
more
to
interested in.
anybody. Holy shit, BoJack is so crazy. But
Get the
Bluey,
gears. Get the gears. Yeah.
listen, the reason why I would recommend Bluey is because if you have a small attention span or low
Yes.
attention
Yes,
span,
that's what I was
which is like everybody nowadays, because when you watch TikToks, they're like a minute long, 3 minutes long. But yeah, you swipe. Bluey is the perfect thing for that, and that's how I watched the show, or that's how I got introduced to the show. So you'll see like clips of Bluey, and it'll be like stupid humor, kid humor, super innocent, super wholesome, whatever. So you'll watch it, and it'll really like fulfill you. That shit will be so like, oh, if you're, I guess like coming from some sort of background that's like mine, where my parenting or like when I grew up, my parenting was super like, I guess kind of like aggressive. That shit was super like more. It wasn't gentle parenting. If you guys like know the term for sure, like when you know gentle parenting, it's like when people take the time, patience. They take the time with their children. They when they're pissed off or
Compassion.
annoyed,
There
yeah,
was
they
no
show
compassion.
compassion.
There was no compassion.
Yeah,
in my
no,
household.
we did not grow up
Yeah.
with that shit. So when you watch the show, and it's like maybe like 34,
So that's all
5
with the
years
little
old.
doggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a whole dog's world, bro. Like everything
Doggy
in that
dog?
world is a dog.
Doggy
It's
dog?
different breeds.
I'm really glad I picked these. Like,
And then you look at that
Oh my
picture, you
God.
never really assume that, but like, that's the face of like, huh?
Yeah, no. If you watch the show, there's super like screen capable moments where it's all just memes and shit. Like if you watch the show, right, it's like unlike any cartoon that you've ever watched, at least
Kidding.
for a kid, where they're not super like, oh, I'm
Oh,
gonna
shit.
baby the shit out of you. I'm gonna make you feel like, oh, you're so incapable of shit. Blah blah blah. They're gonna really make you see that the parents in the show, they're like, I'm fucking annoyed, but also, this is how I'm gonna deal with it. You know, like they kind of show the kids like as super annoying, super like as kids, as children should be like, mom, like blah 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 blah, and
Kids
then
are
they'll
just
show
kids, yeah.
the parents' reactions are kind of like, what do you want? Like, okay, I'll tend to you, like, you know.
Yeah.
So they show that the way that you should be parenting your kids is super like, I'll take care of you, even though it's a real thing to feel annoyed, a real thing to
Yeah.
feel like I'm fucking tired of having kids right now. You're still gonna be like, yes, like a good ass parent. So it shows parents also like alongside the children.
It shows
who are
their
watching.
perspective from being
Their
a parent,
There's no way.
Yeah.
But it's also showing how you should be dealing with it. Okay, like
like the proper way.
yeah.
I just remember they have like that one meme. That's the only meme that
Which
I know.
one?
Where it's like something outside voice, and he's like, oh. You know?
Is it that can I get the bill?
Explain.
The parent is like, oh, like inside voice, and can you get the bill? That's what the kid's saying. The kid is like yelling at the waiter, like, can you get the
Can we-
bill?
Oh,
Yeah, and then the mom is like inside voice, and then it's like super low, like, can you get the bill?
and he's like kind of,
Yeah.
he's kind of
Just
like singing
them,
it.
correcting bad behavior.
oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and it's
that's
so
the
funny because as
concept.
a server, you're kind of like,
Yeah, it's like
If I saw
grass.
that, I
Yeah,
would
he's like,
I'll look at them. I'll look at the parent and be like, thank you.
yeah, literally.
No, there's so much real shit that happens in the show, and I don't want to like spoil anything. I mean, if you
It's so
if you
funny.
watch it as an adult, you'll get it. But there's shit that they address.
I'll
in a
watch it
very-
if it's like available for free.
Yeah, I mean, oh.
What's it called?
It's on
Bluey.
No,
It's on
that's
the
what-
If you have
Plus.
Disney
How do you-
Plus.
Yeah, you can find clips.
I'll steal from my
God damn.
Yeah.
Go to YouTube and watch it in 7 parts.
Dude,
Bluey episode one,
that's
part
everything.
one.
That's everything.
Episode
Part
one.
one of three.
You know,
That's all parts.
accessibility.
Like a single episode is in multiple parts for some.
Okay, well, first of all,
But
Bluey's
there's-
only 8 minutes long.
Yeah,
Everyone's
good.
like-
That's why attention
Oh,
span
they're like
wise
short
is
clips.
so good. And then there's some cinematic episodes that you like with no
Oh,
dialogue that
yeah.
you're like, holy shit! Like I needed this
It's
as
like
a
a
20
silent. It's like a
whatever
silent
year
film.
old.
I've seen like web series that
I
are
love that
longer
though.
than
I
that.
love
Holy
that.
shit.
Yeah,
no,
that
it's
shit.
really
I'm telling you,
good.
it's super healing to watch as a kid. Like
Because
if
you
you
can
just
relate.
yeah, if you just felt like if I saw this when I was 5, when I was 6, you'd feel like
No, I want to stay with my trauma.
like yeah, a lot of like childhood
Damn.
shows are about trauma
That's
and
another
shit.
dilemma. People be just stuck in it.
I
And it's
know,
hard to
that's,
get
that's,
out.
what, that's what the shows are for. That's what Steven Universe, fucking BoJack Horseman, everything. They address mental health.
That one line, that one scene that like stuck out to me in BoJack Horseman was like he's like exercising, right? And he
Yeah,
just like
he's
collapses.
running.
He's like,
So we're talking about
and then,
BoJack.
like a random stranger just like comes up to him and is like, hey, it's okay. It gets easier.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
gotta do it every day. That's the hard part.
Dude,
Oh.
the quotes.
So we're
the
talking
quotes
about
in
BoJack.
BoJack
Yeah,
is very
BoJack.
good.
Talk about BoJack. Yeah.
The
I've
quotes
never
in
seen.
BoJack?
Sorry, I've never seen BoJack, but the one quote that I do
I've
remember,
never seen yes.
or like the
no.
one like scene, is just the one where he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then it's like, "Okay," and he's like, "Oh, you're supposed to forgive me," or something like that. And I'm like,
No,
"Oh
that's
no, I
not-
don't."
no,
forgive
Todd,
you."
yeah.
with Todd,
No,
right?
Something like
No,
that.
it's
I don't
weird.
know any of the.
Like from what I've
Oh,
learned
yeah.
personally, it's like, you know, like I'm sorry, but like you don't have to forgive me right now. But I just want you to know that I am sorry, and that's
Yeah.
like that's like the most mature thing you
Yeah.
to go about like as in like when it comes to apologies, you know.
Yeah, but I think from what I saw from that scene though, the guy was just like, "I'm probably never gonna forgive you."
No,
And that's
that's
really
another
that's
thing.
like a part of life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
real,
Oh
because
my
like
gosh,
you
I
could
love
you
BoJack.
could say sorry, but the person doesn't have to forgive you.
Yes,
Exactly.
yeah,
Obligated
that's
to-
literally the only scene that I've
Like if you're
ever seen
if
from
you're
BoJack.
expecting
I
them
was
to
like,
forgive
It's a
you,
good
then
one.
it's
Yeah, that's a fool. That's a
Yeah.
fool right there. But like it comes back to you because like after that, it's like it's up to you to like how you gonna go
How you
about that.
react.
Exactly. How you gonna go about it? Like, are you gonna let that like just eat at
Weigh
you for the
you
rest of your
down,
life, or are you
yeah.
gonna fucking change? You know?
Mhm.
literally.
That's what BoJack is all about.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
That's why I recommend it to everybody. That's my
it is a
top
good show. It is a good
S
show.
tier, S plus.
I have to
Yeah.
rewatch that. I have to
cartoon.
rewatch
Oh,
that.
it is.
Like,
Like me, to be
I mean,
honest,
look at that face. How can you not be S tier?
to be honest, for
That's a man in crisis right there, dude.
we rewatched the series around like
Multiple times.
It's
three to four times.
It's funny
I
because
wanna
this
watch
is
it again.
Cringe and despair.
Yeah.
It's-
all in one.
it's funny because this is during the funeral scene. That's
Oh,
where
yeah.
I got pictures from.
Oh my God. Don't get too into it.
Yeah,
But-
Yeah.
I think I'm fine.
No, no.
No, yeah.
11-10.
Dude,
11-10.
so funny.
11-10 recommend.
It-
11-10 recommend.
So it
it
turns
does
out.
touch.
Sorry.
No, yeah, it does touch in with just real life situations, like what?
This
like
is all
drug-
watching together.
Mental
Drug
health,
addicts.
depression,
Some of these we have to
anxiety,
watch together.
sexuality, like questioning your sexuality, figuring out yourself. The whole theme of the show was just learning like how to be happy, figure out how to.
There's like
fucking-
4 seasons of it too, right?
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
three.
is there only four?
Four or five. I think.
There's hella.
It's short for
Go
a
watch
reason.
it.
Yeah.
So really, this is turns out this episode is really an advertisement
I know,
for kids
right?
to watch BoJack Horseman.
A lot of
these shows actually,
I get it.
Bluey,
100%.
BoJack,
Bluey,
Adventure Time, yeah.
second best. But
Oh, yeah.
BoJack Horseman.
I
that
feel like
shit-
we should really just for Adventure Time. I'm just gonna have to
No,
make
you
a
know
fill-in
what?
list for you,
No,
bro.
That was long though.
That one's long. That's why.
No,
That's what I mean. Like make a filler list.
For the
I
rest
really
of
do feel like BoJack. You guys should.
The one cartoon
Yeah.
that has
Yeah.
fillers.
for the rest of the podcast, I'm just gonna be sitting. I'm like, convince me. Why should I watch it?
Why?
What were you saying, Mike?
You're trying to convince yourself during your thing too. You're like, what should I watch my own thing?
Happy Apples.
Go ahead.
I'm
so
sorry.
for BoJack, I literally wrote so much shit, but I also will try to condense it a little bit. So fucking good! I
Oh.
cannot believe. Like, oh, sorry. Okay, so what it's about? I mean, you can see from the main character. His name is BoJack Horseman. He's a horse. He's a talking horse. It's a world of animals, talking animals, and
Mhm.
humans coexisting in a world that's normal. The main character is, of course, in the entertainment industry. So he's he's a movie star.
Yeah.
He starred in like an old TV show.
topic, like points.
Uh,
I just kept this
He was
out.
dealing with like
That's why my
mental
shit is
health
so empty, but
symptoms
okay,
such
here's my
as
list.
like drug addiction.
Well.
Other characters in his life were also struggling with mental health and stuff. Basically, he knows, and you'll see it later on in the series. He knows he's a selfish piece of shit. He knows it. He's self-destructive. He constantly
Yeah.
hurts everyone around him. He needs validation from other people to feel better about himself. He makes temporary fixes in his life, but he doesn't stay consistent. He feels like he's
He
a good
lacks self-discipline.
yeah, for sure. Self control is a big ass thing in the
Mhm.
show for him, and then he feels like he's a good person inside. He always asks people like, "You think I'm good, right? Like I'm good, right? I'm so good." And he doesn't put in the work for it, but he just really thinks that he's a good ass person because every now and then he'll do something
Good.
good for society, good for other people,
And then he thinks that's
nice
enough.
to his friends, and he thinks that that's enough. But you can't just fucking do that and
Sometimes.
do shitty things, you know. So although it has like comedic, what the fuck kind of moments, like weird shit. You'll watch it throughout the show. You'll be like, what the fuck am I watching right now? Like weird ass shit. you'll see that it gets really.
This
real.
show is not for kids.
It's not
this
for
show is
kids.
not for kids.
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no.
No, because this was Adult Swim. This was on
Oh,
Adult
really?
Oh, was it on?
Yeah, it was on
That-
Adult
that
Swim. Yeah, it was on
I
Adult
did
Swim.
I did
not
not know
know.
that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was that old.
No,
I thought
yeah.
it was pretty.
No,
I think it was
like
like
it's like towards the end,
Well, I
and
think-
like all of our generation kind of like weaved off. Like it was.
I
just-
think,
Oh.
I think Adult Swim is still a thing though.
no. I mean, yes and no. But I'm
But
saying
I do
like
remember,
when,
yeah,
when it
like-
was like Inuyasha.
Really?
Or,
It was part of that?
Yeah, it was like towards the end. Towards the
I
end of
missed
the era.
out.
It was like
Yeah.
it was like two in the morning before they did like the
Yeah.
Ninja
Mhm.
blender commercial.
Are you sure about that?
My parents would be like at 10 o'clock. They'd be like, "Sleep, turn off
Yeah.
the fucking TV." But I hear from guys all the
We
time.
should-
Like, yeah, no, we
They're
stay
gone,
up.
turn it back
No,
on.
the thing
We
is,
turn that shit back on.
for
Like,
me,
facts.
Must
For
be
me,
nice.
I had 4 brothers, so I slept on the couch for 15 years of my life.
Same.
15
Damn.
years.
Oh,
17
dude,
years,
the
yeah.
same.
Yes.
Yes.
For a few
Yeah.
years.
Yep.
Hey.
But yeah, so I would wake up.
Report.
I would wake up listening to
Thanks for everybody.
Robot Chicken.
Oh, Robot Chicken.
Oh, Robot
The-
Chicken, my shit.
But yeah, I would wake up
Wild.
listening to that. I would wake up listening to George Lopez.
Oh,
All
dude.
the time.
Fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
You like open your eyes and you see them jumping on the jumper. Yeah. And then jumping on the trampoline and shit, and you're like, bro,
Ah,
I'm
but
And you just hear,
yeah,
Classic.
I would wake up to
Can
that.
you make a video of you doing that later?
Oh,
Can you take a video of you doing
Wow.
that later? It'd be like a
it's a
little
little higher. Dude,
advertisement for
also,
your
like, the band that made that song, War, they have so many good songs. Like
Really?
they have so many. They're so great.
I need to
They're
check
like
that
one of
out.
the classics. Like if like that's
California vibes. At,
dude. Like you know, because they're from LA.
Yeah.
The band's from LA, and they have like a bunch of great songs. Like if
Nice.
that's all that you know, I suggest
Check
that
them
you
out.
look them up. Look at
Yeah,
all their
I think I'm-
discography.
There's a
The
lot of
whole
things I need to
discography.
look up.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's
We got
great.
homework.
Yeah.
Yeah. My pops knew War before even George
Future
Lopez. So I
soul.
was like, what?
Okay.
Yeah, it's fire.
But yep, everyone, watch
Wait.
BoJack.
They need to check it
I
out.
For those who haven't, for the audience,
I just
watch
want to
it.
hear one more closing note before we move on from Vienne and Jeremy.
Oh,
Before we move on to the next one.
This is so much. I felt like this is like a whole podcast, but I love it.
So the last stuff that I put for BoJack is that there's heavy symbolism throughout the show. There's questions of like morality and self-control. So it makes the audience kind of wonder like, what the fuck would I do in this situation? You know, would I have done any better? Would I have done even worse? Would I have done the same
The what ifs.
thing? Yeah. So that's why it's a good ass show because it makes the audience kind of like feel it. Like,
Yeah.
Or you could just be disappointed in the fucking main character, like, oh my god, you dumbass.
Like just be annoyed.
Like,
It's like,
yeah, like, how dare you?
Yeah,
you
that
know?
is annoying.
BoJack is one
And that's
of the-
fair.
It's
That's
real.
fair.
Yeah, he's
Those are the
worst
people who
guy.
fucking get it. Those
Like,
are the people who
exactly,
get it. Those
exactly.
people fucking get it.
Like,
It's like, you know, people who acted that way also. You're like,
Yeah, some experience, past experience.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that like caps off is like his last one of his conversations with what was his roommate's name again? Todd. The one where he's like talking about like you can't keep doing this, you can't keep doing shitty things and just feel sorry for yourself. You need to change, and I feel like that encapsulates his BoJack's entire journey as he becomes more aware of what kind of person he is and what kind of person he wants or needs to be.
Mhm.
Because by the end of like everything, I think I'm not sure if it comes into full circle. Like how would you describe the finale in your own words?
It's definitely not like the ending that you typically get, or at least like nowadays you kind of get cartoons or like shows
Because it's
in
not a
general.
happy ending.
Yeah,
Oh.
and you kind of get shows in general that like usually when you were growing up, there's always a happy ending or something, whatever. There's actually a quote. I
Like-
don't know it for sure 100% in the show, but there was like after a happy ending, there's the day that comes after,
Yeah,
and it shows that like you know happiness
Like,
doesn't last forever.
like I mean, if I were to put a term for it, it'd be like post series, right? Like post series feelings.
Yeah.
Because it's just like you're just left with it all, and then you just have to like sit with it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot to kind of contemplate. Like, oh, like a lot of things could have gone differently if this
Exactly.
character just did something different.
Yeah, because it's a whole ride.
Yeah.
It's a ride.
In the end, when it comes to like just real life, like there's no happy endings, just happy journeys.
Yeah, and that's the best part about the show. They kind of show
Oh
that. They're
my
like,
God.
they kind of. That's why the show
Okay,
is
so
so
that-
like real, you know. I said that Amina like recommended the show initially to me, and I was like, the art is fucking weird. It's about a talking horse. I didn't want to give it a chance because I was like,
Because it was just like
Literally.
like
it's
visuals.
weird. It was
literally
different, yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
the art's not the prettiest thing.
It's
in the world.
not. It's not the pretty. But the fact that I gave it a chance after, I was like, okay, let's see. I'm
Let's fucking
so
go.
glad because it's one of the best things. If not the best, it's one of the best things that I've ever watched in my life. And the quote that you mentioned earlier, I actually mentioned that in here because it was one of the best things about the show. It said that so Todd says eventually you can't keep doing shitty things and then feel bad about yourself like that makes it okay. You need to be better, and that's how it is. Like that's the quote.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And that it like
Pops up on my TikToks all the time with the sad music in the background.
yeah, it touches
That's
the viewers because it makes you really fucking think. Like it's not like any other show that's like
Because it's
it's
true.
okay.
It's true.
It's like it's not fucking okay.
It's like a slap on the wrist.
yeah, it's like
No.
a self-awareness kind of thing.
I don't know.
Hey,
I feel like that's more like a chokehold. Like,
Stop it,
Yeah,
bitch.
yeah.
Take it how you want. Stop it.
Take it how you want, though.
Okay, yeah. Actually, yeah, you're right.
You want to get choked on? Get choked on.
If
I
it
mean-
applies to you, then it does. If it doesn't, then you're fucking dumb.
Yeah.
You need to. You kind of like. It's an application to grow also. So it's not just like this was a show. It was like reflect on this shit.
Yeah,
This
like
was
if
an
this
experience.
was an anime, it's a slice of life. Slice of life.
Dude, that
Of
shit
all the
was a lot
animes,
of
it'd be
touchy
Planet.
subjects. Oh,
Planet. God.
We don't talk about Planet though, like the last anime episode. But did you wanna talk like a closing note on how you want to cap off your choices?
I don't know about
These
like
are
a
your guys'
closing
I'm talking to
note.
Jeremy too.
Oh.
You can step
Yeah, both of
in.
you.
But
Jeremy, send us off.
I just feel like personally, like for cartoons in general or whatever you like take in from the media in general, like take in your stupid humor, and whatever else. But like the messages that come with those things, like really indulge in that. Really like pay attention to those because they're trying to tell you something. The show isn't just for the show; it's trying to teach you something, like a lesson to that.
Somebody
Just-
somewhere
Yeah,
experienced
what she said.
Just because it's remember guys, just because it's animated doesn't mean it's not real.